Welcome back to another episode of Chris photographing people who are twice his height. Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today's another episode of posing your friends who are not models, and I have a couple episodes posing specifically guys who are not models and a general universal one on that same topic too. You could click up here for that. I recently did a dive into my analytics and it said that 75% of my audience is male with 25% being girls, and I have no problem with my fellow homies, with my fellow bros on the internet, but straight up our channel is festering like a dude ranch. Like, it is straight up full of platitudes and bros who are affirming me. But even though that's cool and all, I love all y'all, I kind of want a little bit more of a 50-50 ratio of guys and girls, you know, so we can spread the love evenly across the board, you know. So in today's video, we're gonna try to solve that problem, make it 70-30, 60-40. I know it'll never hit 50-50 because that's just the way the internet works. So when it comes to posing girls, I'm pretty sure all of us know the cliche ideas, like the typical look away from me over your shoulder and, you know, just give me a very mysterious vibe, like you're walking away from me or something. Leave me with an emotion of abandonment. Or the look away from the camera and laugh candidly, the and lastly, the cornerstone, the staple, head tilt. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna go a little bit beyond those 3 typical poses, and I'm gonna give you guys 5 tips to follow, 5 principles to follow when posing and photographing girls who are not models. And I don't even want to go on the record to say I'm an expert at this. This is very much my bottleneck. Here is Chris Chu's guide to posing women who are not models. Tip number 1 is don't be a creep. If you're a photographer, guy or girl, and you have some kind of ulterior motive, cut that crap out. Don't do it. Know your boundaries. Know your physical boundaries. You don't need to manhandle your model. You don't need to always lay your hands on them to move their wrist around or move their ankle around. You can straight up talk from a distance, mirror the pose, and have them follow you, or you can just use your words, communicate it clearly, know your boundaries. If the model says that he or she is very uncomfortable with the pose that you're giving, move along, respect it. No means no. It's not that hard to follow. Don't be a creep. And if you really want to like micro adjust something, ask. Ask if you say like, oh, I'm like, is it okay if I move your wrist with my hands? Be clear with your intentions. Okay? It's not that hard to not be a creep. Seriously, everybody. God. And like, don't applaud for me for that because this should be common sense. Like, we should not. Ugh, come on. All right, tip number 2. Tip number 2 is to pose in curves and use soft touch. In my previous episode of posing guys who are not models, I stressed, and maybe stressed too much, to use jagged edges and sharp corners to really accentuate that masculinity and those macho features. For women, it's kind of the reverse. You could really do a good job of promoting that femininity and accentuating the curves, maybe even having an S curve formed by the arms, like maybe one hand on the stomach and the other hand on the head, literally making an S curve. Or perhaps you could have them say left hand on the right cheek very gently, or maybe the right hand, just curl the fingertips a little bit and put it right underneath your chin. Those kind of poses, those kind of ideas really drive that home. There's tons of ideas online, and I'm going to admit that I don't know a lot of poses for women. But one thing that I actually do want to remind you guys is that don't look like you're trying too hard. I know that posing can be very unnatural for most of us, really. And even though you're going for like gentleness and stuff like that, if it looks like they're really uncomfortable or it looks really unnatural, then it could really clash with that idea. So if it doesn't work, just move on, dial it back a little bit. You'll figure it out. It's all about problem solving at the end of the day. Tip number 3 is to hit that blogger leg. And I remember in college, my friend told me about this and I was like, what the heck is a blogger leg? I hope my friend who taught me this concept is watching this because she's probably gonna crack up seeing a guy explain what a blogger leg is. It's a lot more simple than you think. Instead of having your feet side by side next to each other and making you look a little bit too stiff, just literally have one foot out, maybe on the toes, angle the heel out just a little bit to see more of the side of the shoes, side of the feet. Or you could have them show the profile, maybe the right side or the left side, and then just kick up the front heel up. And then that's 2 examples, 2 strong examples of the blogger leg. I don't know how something so simple can be so helpful, but that's literally all the explanation I can give you, is really just hit that blogger leg and you are like on your way. Tip number 4 is the classic play with the hair and clothing, and yes, this does make your photo a lot more dynamic, but it more so takes care of the crux of every single portrait session, which is what do I do with my hands? For the guys, in my previous episode, I said that they could throw it in the pocket, you could play with accessories like a watch or rings, or maybe hold on to the sunglasses, and you could do all those things with women as well. But they have something that most guys don't, which is longer hair. Guys who do have longer hair though, it's kind of like, whoa, that's sick. Like Fabio just entered the chat. For the girls, you could have them whip their hair left and right, whip it up and down. You could even have them play it across their face for a little bit more of a mysterious girl aesthetic. You could have the clothing just hang right off the shoulders and onto the elbows to promote that fragility and that femininity as well. And there's tons of variations that you could play with this, and I'm sure you can make a very dynamic photo from it. Just make sure that you're taking care of the awkward hand. Know what I'm saying? And my last and final tip for you guys is to break rule number 2 and go geometric. Even though I just said to promote femininity through like curves, accentuating them, and with soft touch, I feel like with hard geometric poses for women, maybe like even in a matching outfit like a blazer or like some kind of like business-like tough outfit, maybe a leather jacket, it is so bold. I love it. I've seen it in like high fashion model poses and just even casual photos too. It exudes so much confidence. Not saying that the others don't, but it's so bold. The contrast of like a very masculine pose with a very feminine figure is awesome. I don't know what it is. Again, I'm no expert on this, but it works. And that's all I have for you guys in this video. Make sure you like this video, subscribe, leave a comment down below, and share it with your friends who are struggling with posing. And at the end of the day, we're all trying to just make each other better. If you guys do implement any of these tips and you post on Instagram, make sure you tag me at Who's Chris Chu. Would love to see your work. And I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.